Okay, cool. I'm back. As I bop my head to the beat. Okay. After talking about it with my mom, she said don't visit her every hour. If anything, she'll just call my phone. So my phone's right here on my computer, and I can see it plainly if it goes off. So yeah. While if it's in my pocket, sometimes I won't get it. So let's keep going. Even if the culprit tried to leap to the outside wall of the Space Center building, they would fall to their death! Objection! Ordinarily, yes. But after the bombing incident, the culprit could make use of a certain item. Wait, a certain item? What? Not an emergency ladder, that'd be stupid. Right? Right? I'm not seeing it, Phoenix. Only thing I can think of is the jacket, but yeah, that doesn't make sense either. My badge could help you! And what item is that exactly, Mr. Wright? That's what I'd like to know. Ah, shoot. This is what the culprit used to leap... Oh, god dang it. I really think it was the...
Take that!
No. No. Why don't you demonstrate how it could have been done with that, Mr. Wright? What? You're saying that the culprit used that to escape? Are you not? Then why don't you show us and use that item yourself to leap to a third floor wall? Well, I suggest a less reckless answer next time, Mr. Wright. Why don't you try that one more time? Alright, this is what the culprit used to leap out the outside of the building. I used the emergency ladder!
Take that!
Wait, what? That was actually right? I was right in the first time? Oh, god dang it. I don't even want to know how this works, but I'm gonna be told that anyways. There was an emergency ladder in the 4th floor robotics lab. And it was used that day after the explosions to help evacuate people. Miss Blackwell herself used that ladder to escape down the ground level. Oh my god! Okay, I see how it happened. He freaking jumped off the freaking... He jumped off the boarding passage and onto the ladder. Oh my god! Recall that the launch pads were switched after the ladder was lowered. The corridor would have passed by the ladder while the pads were still being switched. And that's when the culprit literally sprang into action. And leapt onto the ladder! Get ready for being ridiculed time. What?! Who would have imagined? That was something that just came out of nowhere. Although not really at the same time, but still, that's pretty much unthinkable. Order! Order in the court! Well, an alternative escape route seems to have emerged. Which means someone other than Miss Sykes could have been the culprit, right?
Objection!
Making things up on the fly in an attempt to sway the court again. Are we, Mr. Wright? Your theory has so many holes, it puts Swiss cheese to shame. Alright, then, name one. I have here detailed information about the Space Center. According to this, the distance between the museum corridor and the main building during the movement is... Yes, I want to know this. A full 20 feet. That actually seems... That's a long jump. That's a long jump. 20 feet? You're pulling my leg, right? In addition, the corridor is 3 floors from the ground, or roughly 50 feet. What's more, the culprit would be leaping to a precarious place, an unstable ladder. That's true. That's why it was like, the chances of them jumping to a ladder that it isn't one of those ladders that are on like a freaking truck or whatever. It's a freaking ladder that you just lower down from inside the building. Holy crap. And a 4-floor ladder. That's, the higher a ladder is, the more unstable it is when it goes higher and higher. So, yeah, that's why it was like not coming to me. Human beings feel fear in dangerous situations. It's a basic survival instinct. An ordinary person would certainly hesitate before jumping. Or even freeze in fear and not jump at all.
Objection!
But the culprit had just murdered someone. They weren't in an ordinary state of mind.
Objection!
Nevertheless, why would they have taken that kind of risk? They could have waited for the switch to be complete and escaped to boarding lounge 2. Because then they would get caught, obviously.
Objection!
Because there was a security camera in boarding lounge 2. The culprit knew they would be recorded if they left the Space Museum that way.
Objection!
So many objections. It's an objection fight! In that case, the culprit could have hidden in the museum until things settled down. And then blended in with other people after the museum was opened. That is quite a good point, now that you actually say that. But you claim that, despite all this, the culprit took a 20-foot, death-defying leap. And all in the belief, in the brief moment the corridor and the ladder passed by each other? That's also a good point. They would have needed a running start while the corridor was moving to make that jump. If their timing was off, or if they couldn't jump far enough, it would have been instant death. Or broken bones, and they would have been caught either way. What kind of person would attempt something like that? Stop bringing up good points, Edgeworth. This true culprit of yours is nothing but a figment of your imagination. Why do you always have to point out every flaw? Mr. Edgeworth's right. That does sound pretty insane. Wow, his eyes. The culprit would have to be someone who feels no fear, like a stuntman. But everyone feels fear on some level, right? Wait a minute. Aha! I've got it this time! I can prove that there is someone who could have used this alternative escape route. Oh, can you now? This proves the possibility of a person who could have used this alternative escape route. Wait, not that. Not that. The subject's emotions rarely fluctuate, and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. Take that!
Take that!
What's that, Mr. Wright? This is a certain person's very interesting psych profile. The subject doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. In other words, this person doesn't feel happiness, sadness, or fear. Doesn't feel fear? Right! You can't be serious! Without the constraint of fear? He could easily do what an ordinary person wouldn't do. Or dare. Just as you or I could do a broad jump on the ground without the slightest fear. This subject could make a 20-foot leap, 50 feet up in the air. He could choose this extreme way of escaping without hesitation. So you're saying that to a person without fear, the alternative route would be quicker and eliminate the chance that they'd be spotted? That's definitely pretty extreme, Mr. Wright. But was there such a person there at the scene? Yes, the Phantom, that mysterious, shadowy figure who keeps popping up today. Oh dear! The Phantom. Again? I knew the Phantom was there behind the scenes of the Space Center bombing, but I wasn't sure if he was connected to this murder of Clay Tarrant as well. However, now it's all clear. The Phantom is the one who not only bombed the Space Center, but also killed Mr. Tarrant. What? So many people finishing sentences. Order in the court. Order, I say. Mr. Wright, please, continue. There were just too many similarities between this case and the one from 7 years ago. But why, you may ask? It can only be because both incidents were the work of the same Phantom. So then, this Phantom is the one who killed Clay? But who is he? This Phantom has been haunting this case, pulling the strings in the background. Who could this unidentified international spy be? Right. This escape route must have been a part of the Phantom's plan from the start, as was tricking Director Cosmos into switching the launch pads. The bomb on the second floor was meant to make the elevators and stairs unusable. That's why he gave advance warning and planted the bombs where he did. Yes, I think you're right. But it doesn't explain this one last thing. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? The robotics lab wasn't the only room with an emergency ladder. But he couldn't have made that leap unless he was certain which one it would be. So you mean the Phantom must be someone who knew that particular ladder was going to be used? That's right. Who could it be? Wait a minute. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. Miss Blackwell lowered the ladder after being told by the detective leading the... Huh? Ah! You've gotta be kidding me! Did you figure it out, Wright? Do you know who the Phantom is? Yes. I think I do. Who is it? Who killed Clay? Our mystery spy, known as the Phantom, is none other than... Bobby Fulbright. After the explosions, a member of the staff crossed paths with a certain detective. I was on duty on the fourth floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you. As for the detective who was leading the evacuation from the fourth floor, he had a very specific objective in mind. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. His objective was to secure his own escape route. We lowered an emergency ladder from a fourth floor window and escaped that way. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter. This is a detective you all know. He's even the lead detective on the current case. He appears to be a very emotional man, but his psych profile says he is without emotion.
Take that!
What? Are you saying? You mean the Phantom is Detective Bobby Fulbright? Exactly. We were all taken in by his fake persona. Detective Fulbright's real identity is the Phantom! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, how could this be? That's easy, Your Honor. Detective Fulbright was leading the fourth floor evacuation effort. Our first clue is that he made no attempt to have any other ladder put to use. The ladder in the robotics lab is the only one he ordered to be lowered. The second is that he directed everybody to the basement shelter via this ladder. Verily, it was all a part of his plan to create an escape route! After Detective Fulbright saw it, that the ladder was lowered from the robotics lab, he went to the lounge where he killed Clay Terran and escaped into the Space Museum. The museum started moving slowly, so he waited for the right time. Got a running start, and just as the corridor was passing the ladder, he leaped onto it! Grr, I don't believe it! The addle-pated detective did all that?! Was it really him? I mean, all this time, I thought... Sorry, we didn't catch your name. My name? I'm Bobby Fulbright, the heroic detective who defends our good citizens from evil. The champion of justice who comes running whenever you're in need. And my catchphrase, it's injustice we trust! Then, his concern for Simon was also just one big act? I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackquill and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. That monster killed Clay? He had me completely fooled! Come to think of it, he's the one who brought that blood-stained lighter to the court, too! It all makes sense! That scumbag even made me turn on Athena! Damn it! How the hell did I fall for that?! For him to have warmed his way into the police department as well! Ugh! Your Honor, the defense demands to question Detective Bobby Fulbright. Yes, I agree that we need to hear from him right away. The court will take a short recess, and then Detective Fulbright will take the stand. It's getting heated up. See? It's 5:13 in the afternoon. You would think right now it would be getting really kind of dusk, sundown, red, final battle sort of thing going on here. Just kind of putting that out there. Especially in a ruined, in the ruins of a courtroom too. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. If it wasn't for everything you did, I... Don't thank me yet. We still have an uphill battle to fight. You got it, boss. Here comes Apollo. I know he's got to feel freaking horrible. After being fooled and turned against his own co-worker. Apollo! Well, this is awkward. Yeah. Athena, can you do me a favor? Huh? What is it? Could you punch me? Please? What? Why would I do that? Because I should have believed in you. I let the seed of doubt inside me get the best of me. I'm really sorry that I didn't trust— Ouch! Don't be such a dope! I was really touched by what you did. Huh? Now what are you talking about? I want to believe in Athena. I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her. You took the time and effort to genuinely think about who I am and what I'm made of. After all that, how could I punch a true friend like you, Apollo? You didn't have any trouble slapping him just a second ago, though. Thanks, Athena. And thanks for waking me up to reality again. Guess I know now who to call if I ever get sleepy in court. Is this Edgeworth? It looks like you have some promising young people working under you. Edgeworth. Yeah, I think they're pretty great myself. And they're not afraid to keep me in line. Anyway, I have some very good news. Aura Blackquill has surrendered and the hostages have been set free. Trucy and the others? Oh, thank God! I'll say it. It's a freaking rated M game and he doesn't want to say thank goodness. He says thank goodness. Miss Blackquill said she had something she really needed to do. So I granted her special permission to do what she must. I wonder what it is. Miss Blackquill! I didn't come to apologize, if that's what you're thinking. My actions are what allowed the truth of what happened 7 years ago to come to light. But I did come because I had something to say to all of you. Miss Aura. She'd better not be here to complain about something. Please. Seriously, I've been in the courtroom for pretty much 2/3 of the day. Miss Blackquill, I want to apologize to you. The fact that you couldn't trust the court system is our fault. Yes, it's true the courts are filled with incompetent idiots. But still, I suppose I could let you handle the rest of this case for me. Oh, Miss Aura, does this mean you're starting to trust the system again? No, of course not. Be quiet, hunk of junk. It's just, I wouldn't mind if you were the ones who took Metis' killer down. Leave it to us. We'll get him. So I guess that means she's starting to trust us at least. Aura. Simon, I'm so glad both you and the princess were cleared of all suspicion. And it's all thanks to me and my robots. You'd better be grateful. I knew that was coming. I never imagined you would go that far, though you always were extreme. But I don't recall ever requesting your help. As closed as ever, I see. Well, now that you've been released, I guess it's my turn to live in the slammer. I just hope you're not the prosecutor for my trial. You'd probably give me the death penalty. You know me all too well. I guess love can take a variety of expressions, including stunted in their case. But I truly was about to be executed tomorrow. Though, because of you, it looks like I won't be crossing the Styx just yet. You have my heartfelt thanks, Aura. I'm sorry I caused you so much anguish. Simon. I'm so glad, Simon. So very glad to hear you say that. Aura. All right, that's enough of that. Bailiff, take me to the detention center. What Miss Blackwell did was inexcusable. But it's clear she did it out of love for her brother. I still can't wrap my mind around Detective Fulbright being the Phantom. I can't believe he killed Clay! Right, and murdered my mentor, which brought great distress upon little Athena. Chief Prosecutor. Yes? I would like to ask a favor. Would you allow me to stand at the prosecutor's bench for this trial? I wish to claim the Phantom's head by my own hand. Humph. That was my plan all along. After all, it's highly unconventional for a man of my position to stand in court. Sir. The formal paperwork has yet to be filed, but you are hereby conditionally released. Please take the prosecutor's bench in your official capacity and uncover the truth by your own hand. I'm much obliged. The day to part with these has come at last. Chief Prosecutor, could you? How long I have waited. How long have I waited? Maybe it's the sense of freedom, but even the air seems fresher, light, brighter. And I will relish slashing that blackguard Fulbright to shreds without mercy! I don't have to be able to read his heart to see how happy he is. Yeah, I would say vengeance is going to be served very soon. I'm so glad, but I won't cry just yet. After all, we've still got a trial to finish. It's okay to cry, Athena. I promise. Prosecutor Blackwell, Mr. Wright, please, avenge Clay's death for me. What are you talking about, Apollo? You're coming to the defense's bench with me. I am? Well, I can't expect Athena to assist me. Now, can I? She is the defendant. That leaves you, Apollo. So technically, the funny thing is, even though Athena is the defendant, we're gonna have three defense attorneys, all with different powers. Technically, like Phoenix has the Magatama, uh, um, Apollo has his bracelet and his sight, which hopefully he's going to shed his eye patch and show and get a little taste of some gotcha action. And then Athena is going to be probably doing some emotional psychology analysis, hopefully. So we got a three-team defense attorney going up against this guy vers with the prosecution as backup that is that has some vengeance to go after, as well as Apollo has some vengeance too. Oh, this is gonna be one hell of a show. But are you sure you want me? Yes, I'm sure. I just went into that whole monologue. Come on, you're coming with me. I took a leave of absence and everything. Well, our office is pretty short-handed, and you're all I've got. Plus, I didn't do the paperwork that you were actually taking leave. You're still part of the office. That would be a good side note right there. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Apollo. Athena, I can say it with all my heart now. I believe in your complete innocence. And now we're going to prove it to the world! Thank you, Apollo. I know you can do it.
So, you won't be needing that eye patch anymore, right?
Right, because I'm fine now.
That is a lot of bandages. Now this is the Apollo I know. And it's also the Apollo that a lot of people wish he would have been looking like what he was looking. Kinda dark and cool and all that. Welcome back, Apollo! It's almost time for the trial to restart, though. It looks like you have things well in hand. Yup! I should head back to the prosecutor's office. No, come on, sit in the gallery. Enjoy the show. It's gonna be a huge beatdown on Fulbright. Fulbright's gonna get a full fist of fury. But why? I want to look into a few things. Namely, the first people on the scene 7 years ago, the facial data registered by the robot, and Detective Fulbright's background. Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds great at Edgeworth. Thanks. I expect to be repaid with a victory, Wright. Now, if you'll excuse me. Okay, you two all set to go? You bet I am! Let's do this. This is it. This is it. The final battle. That Crom quote. The murder of Apollo's friend. The courtroom bombing incident. And the case that ushered in the dark age of the Seven Law years ago. Phoenix, was that a pun? Come on! The Seven Law years ago. law years ago. Law 7. Of the law 7 years ago. Oh, wait, no. It wasn't a pun. I just read that wrong. I'm thinking he was trying to say the long instead of long law. Destiny has called us to bring the one responsible for it all to justice today. Or in another part, or whatever.